What's going on, YouTube? Jeff coming at ya. So, I haven't been updating you guys on the foxbody because I've just been hard at it, just been giving her and stuff. It's at my work right now, obviously, so I don't really have all the time in the world to get it done and stuff. And the weather's getting nice outside, so, oh man, I got overspray all over the place. Yeah, overspray. I primed the foxbody. So I got about, I don't know, 60, 70 hours into sanding and stripping the car. And you get sanding so much and you spend so many days and nights and weekends sanding, that things start looking good, but they're not really good. And Buddy once told me that if you want to make a blemish pop, spray primer on it. And he's not kidding. You want to see where you haven't finished yet, where you still need to improve on, spray a coat of primer. You will see all your flaws, okay? Get stuff like this. Okay. Gotta do some more filling there, some more shaping, sanding and stuff. You know, primer makes it stand out. You end up sanding so much, especially when a car is bare metal. And you almost start tricking yourself. You're like, oh, it feels good, it feels smooth and stuff. Spray a coat of primer, and you will then right there see what you still need to do. There's lots of stuff. I didn't sand good at all anywhere around my trim. I got little stuff like that, because you're not getting the sandpaper right down in the crevice, and you're not making sure the transitions are smooth, so you know that's going to start flaking and stuff. So I got to sand stuff like that. Little spots like that. Overall though, not too bad. Remember, there was rust everywhere, right? So I sanded it all down to 80 grit, came back up to 120. I think I finished off at like 220 or something like that on bare metal. I treated it, all the rust areas, with rust inhibitor or rust conversion or whatever the heck you guys call it. And then what else? Yeah, then I sprayed primer all over it. Little stuff like this. Will that pick up? You know, it's all around the trim and stuff. You know, I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't take enough time. But primer makes it stand out. Stuff like that. And now I can go back and I can easily address the areas and stuff. I started a little makeshift spray booth, but it only covered halfway, and you can really tell because right here I started getting a lot of dust. There must have been an accumulation of crap in the air and stuff like that. Over here I got some more sanding and stuff to do. Heck, I still had a blob of filler right there. Like, what's the guy doing? But that's what happens. You get complacent when you've been sanding for a month and a half. Nights, weekends, lunch break and stuff. You're almost like, oh, I know I'm almost there. I gotta be there. It's gotta be good enough. It may be, but it may not. And after I was done spraying this car, I was, for a good, 3-4 minutes, I was really let down with myself. I was like, oh, I rushed it and this and that. I didn't really rush it. I've been keeping track of all the hours and stuff. I got a little tally mark sheet up there. So I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, over 50 hours just in sanding and paint stripping and stuff like that. So don't beat yourself up. Get a coat of primer on it and start working the problematic areas. Now, at least, the whole car isn't at a bare metal stage, and that's really overwhelming, trust me. That really gets to you. But now it's all one coat and stuff, and now I can nitpick little areas and stuff. Just little areas. And that, I just got to keep telling myself that, it's going to be okay. You're going to get areas where, I don't really know. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. There was some bubbling happening in the primer. Maybe I didn't wipe down that area too well. I wiped everything down with solvent and stuff, went over it with a tack rag, but I'm in a warehouse, pretty dusty warehouse and stuff. So it's funny now I know how much, once I get the base coat on there, how much wet sanding and polishing I'm going to have to do on this. My gun had some issues. I had a lot of sputtering issues, but I quickly went on Google and it showed me that the jam nut, I guess, on the nozzle, good chance that that wasn't tight and causing air bypass on it and stuff. But yeah, so what I was using for a gun is my good old Princess Auto HVLP gun. I picked this up on sale, I don't know, a while ago, years ago. $40, $50. I also put a regulator on and one of these dryers from Princess Auto, and that was like $5. And you know what? That works really well because my air compressor is huge, and after it gets going for a while, it likes to spit oily water out everywhere. And see how they got these pink crystals in it? Yeah, well, they used to be as blue as my coveralls. So obviously they've been changing color as they were trapping out all the oil and water and stuff. And it worked like a hot damn. I had this stuff given to me by a friend. That's what I did my final wipe with. Just a finish wipe solvent. Just like gun wash solvent. Very strong and stuff. Make sure when you're working with this stuff, when you're mixing, cleaning, spraying, good respirator, guys. You know, I can't suggest it enough. So yeah, I guess you guys are all wondering what I sprayed. What type of primer? Did he go with an epoxy primer? Did he go with a high build primer, urethane, 2K, this, that? Listen, you guys all know me. I'm broke. I'm really cheap. So I did the right thing. And I sprayed tremclad. I did. Yep. Hate me all you want. Or love me more. It's totally up to you guys. All depends on what type of people you are. So, I sprayed tremclad oil-based rust primer. And I used acetone to kick it down. Here, I'll get a clean thing. You know, I bought these cups right here. These are pretty cool. Really takes the guessing out of things. And you go do all the research you want on Google and the appropriate ratios for tremclad or Rust-Oleum for you fellas and gals in the United States of America. There's so many different variables out there. I just went with a 4-to-1. I think that's like 20-25% or whatever. And so these cups right here. So you got a 4. And then you got its corresponding 1. 4 and a 1. So depending on where you bring your paint up to, what 4 you bring it up to, you take acetone to the next corresponding 1. Makes it a 4-to-1 ratio. Stir the heck out of it. Make sure you run it through a strainer, because we're not barbarians here. Even though we're spraying tremclad, you know, it's great. You know, I couldn't be more impressed with how it turned out. Obviously, I don't know the sanding characteristics of it yet. And unfortunately, I thought 1 gallon. I thought once I mixed it, maybe I'd get a couple of gallons. And I thought maybe I'd get 2 or 3 coats. I got like 1.5 coats on the car. But, yeah, it's really nice. I'm scared to like touch it and stuff. The spots that I sprayed good and had good body work and stuff, it laid down really nice and level, flat, pretty smooth considering what type of dusty environment I am. But it's just primer. Everything is going to get knocked down now. I'm going to block sand the whole car after I address some small areas. We got to bring the filler back out and stuff like that. Maybe glazing putty. But then I'm going to spray a guide coat all over this. So I'm just going to grab a can of black spray paint and lightly mist. And then start block sanding down everything so I can see my highs and low spots and stuff. Get it down to like 400 degrees. 400 degrees, jeez. 400 grit. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Just use the old tremclad. It was $29. And basically I got over one whole coat on the car. That's pretty darn cheap. That's probably like 10 American for you Americans out there and stuff. So I'm impressed. I'm going with a dark gray. I think they call it smoke gray. Tremclad. So it's a single stage paint. Yeah, and then all my louvers, my trim, window trim, mirrors, and the outlets on the headlight bezels and stuff. Those are all going gloss black. And it should look pretty good. So, yep, just going back to body work. And gonna get that all tidied and smoothed out, fix some things. Haven't decided if I'm gonna have to spray another coat of primer. I might. And then I'm just gonna try and spray a whole bunch of coats of base. And like a lot. I'm gonna probably, I don't know, spray 4 or 5 base coats so that I can wet sand it smooth, because in the environment I'm in, there's going to be dirt nips, there's going to be little dust nips, there's going to be crap and debris everywhere in it. So my process is going to be to focus really on the wet sanding and the polishing afterwards to really make it pop and stuff. In the end, it's still a home-built stroker foxbody Mustang. I beat the piss out of it. That's why last moment I decided to go with a more durable but cheap paint, because I'm still gonna do track days. I'm still gonna, you know, I beat the hell out of this thing. So that's why I ended up going with this paint process. So there you guys go. One coat, tremclad, Home Depot paint. Looks pretty good through a cheap gun. Anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell button. Like I said, coming up the end of next month, big news on the channel and stuff. Did I buy something? Yeah. Wait and see. Talk to you guys later.